Hi everyone, this is Joy. Today's video is for Spellbinders December Club Kits blog hop, and I have made a really fun shaker card for this. Everything that I've used for this project is listed and linked below and also on my blog. So I'm starting with a piece of A2 sized Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock, and I'm coming in with Tailored Expressions Mint Julep and Confetti Cake ink, and I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending, but I'm kind of just doing it almost splotchy on purpose. It will even out a little bit because it is a dye ink, but I've laid down the mint julep and now I'm coming in with the confetti cake ink and just adding little spots of that, and I'm going to keep going back and forth till I get a really kind of a nicer blend, but again a little bit splotchy and a little bit of open areas of different colors. Now I do want to say, you guys, don't forget to leave a comment on Spellbinders Blog because they are giving away a $50 gift certificate to 3 winners, so don't forget to do that. Now I'm going to come in and spray a few things onto my background. This is Distress Oxide Spray in Speckled Egg, and I'm going to spray a little bit of that on the background. I'm just using my heat tool to dry it. I'm going to come in with my Imagine Sheer Shimmer Sparkle Spray, and I'm spraying that all over the background, kind of heavy because I really want it to be nice and sparkly. And I'm going to dry that. I'm going to set that aside for a minute. I'm coming in with Tailored Expressions Sea Salt cardstock, and I'm going to actually just trim a small piece because I only need this for the moon. And I'm going to spray a little bit of the Distress Oxide Spray in Speckled Egg and also the Imagine Sheer Shimmer Sparkle Spray. Drying that. And I'm going to put that aside and come in with a piece of white cardstock and just doing the Sheer Shimmer Sparkle Spray on that because that will be for the clouds that we are going to die cut. Now I'm coming in with the Dylusions White Linen Spray, and it does have a sparkle to it. I'm going to spray that over the background, and honestly I could leave this out because I really didn't notice a whole lot of it. But then I'm going to come in with Distress Spray in the Picket Fence White, and I'm going to spray that, and that you're going to definitely notice. So once that's sprayed on there, I'm going to dry that again, and you can see it kind of covers up the speckled egg, and I was a little bit worried, but once it dried, it actually softened the speckled egg, and I actually ended up really liking it. Now I'm coming in with these window dies. This is the small die of the month, and I'm just marking some little areas in the corners so I can lay down the dies that are going to cut out this fun starry background. This is the small die of the month for December. And so I'm going to line these up on those little lines and run this through my die cut machine. I can do the top 2 in one pass. Then this square I have to do 3 more times after this. So once I pop this out, I am going to keep those little inside pieces. At first I thought I was going to use those for the shaker bits, but you wouldn't be able to notice it. But I did use them for a little bit of embellishment, so definitely keep some of those aside. You could also keep those for another shaker card because this background turned out so pretty. So I'm going to keep lining this back up and taping it down, lining it up with my little pencil marks there and running it through the die cut machine. Once that's done, I'm just going to take my eraser and erase all of those pencil marks, and then those will no longer be there. Now I'm going to die cut my clouds out of that paper that we sprayed just the shimmer, and then I'm going to die cut the moon on the gray, the sea salt cardstock. And I'm going to die cut all of those. I'm going to cut a couple more clouds. I ended up using 3 clouds on this and the moon, and I like that the moon was a little bit gray, but it has some character with it added to it from the Distress Oxide Spray in the Speckled Egg. Now I have cut out the bottom and top part of this window, I believe 6 times. I'm gluing 5 of them together right now for the top and bottom, and this is going to give me dimension instead of using foam tape, or you could use foam tape or you could use fun foam, but I decided to die cut all of these pieces and glue them together. Now I'm going to glue those down once they've dried to frame in those die cut pieces that has this starry background. Then I'm just going to set my heavy acrylic block on it until it dries. This is Lawn Fawn's glue tube, and it dries really quick. And I'm going to set that aside while that dries. Now in my Tailored Expressions Winter Flurry embossing folder, I'm putting a piece of white cardstock. This is Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. And I'm running that through, and I'm actually going to use what's considered the debossed side, and I will adhere that to a white A2 size card base, top folding card base from Spellbinders. And as you can see there, it looks super, super pretty. That really fun kind of aquamarine background really pops off the page when it's all just white. But then you've got some character with these snowflakes on the back. So now that that's glued down, I'm going to cut out the sentiment which says Dream Big, and I'm using Cardstock Warehouse's gold mirror cardstock. And I'm cutting out the frame and the words at the same time. And then I will back that onto or glue that to a piece of white cardstock that I will just use the frame and cut out a piece of white cardstock. And then we will have a nice sentiment for the bottom of this card. So I'm running that frame through the die cut machine, and as you can see there, they pop on there really nice. They look great, and I like the white behind it. I really wanted to keep everything simple except for the shaker and the sentiment. I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue and glue those two pieces together, and I will use some foam tape behind that so it will line up to the bottom of this shaker window frame. So adding just a little bit of my foam tape, it's the thinner foam tape, it's like the 3M, trimmed that down and added that to the bottom. I already added a little bit of adhesive to the back of this window, and I'm just going to push that down and then add my sentiment at the bottom. And then we're going to get to filling all the shaker bits inside of here. And I'm using Honeybee Stamps Arctic Snow and some gold stardust from SpiegelMom. So I've put in the fun Arctic Snow, and each window is its own little shaker, which is really darling. And it's all kind of white and iridescent pieces. And then I came in and added the SpiegelMom gold stardust pieces because it needed a little bit of gold. Now I'm trimming down my piece of window plastic with my leftover 2 frames, one for the square part and one for the arched window. And I'm going to trim that down, and I'm going to glue that straight to my card base with the window that already has the shaker bits in it. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to glue the clouds and the moon on top of that and then finish it off with my 2 frames. So I'm just going to finish trimming out this top piece, and then I'm going to add some liquid glue to the frames on the card, adhere down my window plastic, and then add the other little elements to decorate this card. So just a little bit of liquid glue. You don't need a ton because you don't want it smearing out, which I did do a little bit of that on the top part of this window here, but you actually end up not noticing it all once it dried. But making sure that every spot has a piece of, or has some glue, because you don't want the little pieces to spill out. So now I'm going to glue down the moon and all of the clouds, and they are overlapping some of the window frames, but it doesn't matter because we're going to finish off the top of this card with more window frames. So just a little bit of liquid glue because, again, you don't want that squishing out onto your window plastic. Now that that's done, I'm just going to add the 2 window frames, again being very light with the glue and adhering that down, and you can see how that finishes it off, and it looks like the clouds and the moon are behind the window, outside of the window, but all the shaker bits are behind the clouds and the moon, which turned out really, really cute. Now I'm going to come back in for a little bit more embellishment with those pieces that we cut out of the background that I said to keep, and I'm adding a few of those to the clouds and to the moon. I just thought that's one more level of embellishment, and really I'm so glad I did because it turned out super cute. Adding a little bit more to that moon, one right in front on the window, plastic, and then one little star or snowflake onto the moon. And look at that fun shaker. Isn't that darling? I want to thank you guys so very much for stopping by. Don't forget to leave a comment on the Spellbinders blog. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel. Thumbs up, comment, share. I do have some affiliate links below. It costs you guys nothing to use, but it helps me. So thank you, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.